My wallet is sobbing. I can hear it. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
It turns out that Attila, the arrogant so-and-so, he's got a fake hammer.
Oh, a fake?
Yeah.
Whoa. As I say, dick.
Welcome to the Legions podcast, episode 46. We're here. We've made it almost to the end of the year. And I think when we started out on this road, one of the things I was looking forward to doing, if I was going to pull through the podcast and do what we did for this year, which is be consistent, release episodes, and now we have the right to run the rule over our top figures for the year. So, joining me to speak about probably all 50 of the figures that were released this year, it's Malcolm Kennedy. How are you?
I am all good. Glad to be here. This is the highlight of, well, there's going to be a couple of highlights this week, I suspect, but this is definitely going to be a highlight for sure.
Yeah, and how many of them, this must have been tough for you, trying to leave some figures out, or did you just pick them all?
I think it's made easier by it being just the year. If it was all time, it would be much harder.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very good.
So just 25 figures.
Yeah.
Well, that'd probably fit the bill. That's not too bad, you know. And Rich, how's the crack with you?
Yes, apart from life, all is good.
Oh, okay.
Excited to do this.
I think as we've said before, this podcast is to get away from life. So I hope we're filling up that side of the energy tank tonight with our little chats.
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm quite excited actually, because if Mal is going to talk about every other figure released, revealed, etc., then we're going to beat the dwarf length episode. So sorry, Anthony.
Yeah, I got this, you know, the Spotify, what is it called? That thing that they send you, kind of your review of the year or whatever. And if you're a podcaster, they obviously send you one which is focused actually on your podcast and your listeners and blah, blah, blah. And that episode was actually our most popular episode on Spotify. So that's a little victory for the dwarf fans right there. Or else most dwarf fans listen on Spotify. That could also be it.
Can I check, John? Was it a little victory?
It was a little
Sorry,
victory.
couldn't resist.
That's
Sorry.
for sure. We'll give you that one. And as this one is going out on Christmas, you know, we thought we'd play a little, put you in the Christmas spirit.
Actually, this feels the appropriate time. It's bugged me. Turns out I got the ghosts in Christmas Carol wrong.
Oh,
the Ghost of Christmas Present is the one that's quite often a bit Santa looking and quite often giant or tall. And the Ghost of Christmas Past is, well, it's described as looking like an old man and a small child.
okay.
And, so I can't remember how it's represented in most.
I actually downloaded an audiobook from Audible because I have a monthly subscription for one book, but they also give you a whole free catalogue. And a lot of the old classics are in the free catalogue, usually read by quite interesting people. So I think it was definitely one, maybe Patrick Stewart. I don't know if that one was the one that you had to pay for though, but it was some other actor that's reading it. So I'm definitely going to brush up on my Christmas Carol because I know I probably read it many, many years ago and I've definitely watched the movies, but not for a long time. So my knowledge is a bit sketchy, I would say, at best. But I did get my Jacob Marley in this week, and it's fantastic.
All right,
absolutely fantastic. How's that shipping notice?
As I said on last week's show, I've not had shipping notice. Where is it? It's not fair.
This could be the new Mythic Legions tactics, but for Rich instead of me.
Yeah,
I'm down with that.
Oh, cheers.
And Mal was right. It is quite a pungent little figure. I actually got out the Febreze and gave it a little squirt over the plastic tray and left it for an hour, and I came back and it was tolerable then. So that's a recommendation for anyone if they're really struggling with the smell of it. I do think it is a combination of the paint, and it's definitely the translucent plastic seems to be doing something there. Yeah. So maybe the paint itself is covering up the plastic smell when we get the figures.
I think it is. I think it is.
And I think actually the smell of the figures is actually just whatever's coming through the paint.
Yeah.
It's not actually the paint. The paint doesn't smell. Maybe. Yeah. So any more for our listeners before we get into the main event tonight? No? Rich is
ready to go.
No.
Still stressing.
Sorry, I was miles away. I was just looking at the Knights of Yule. The Von.
Oh, I got mine in this week as well. 4-day shipping from Portland, Oregon. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, mine went to David, who graciously opened them and sent me photographs of them, so I know what they look like.
Well, we know what's in the safe, so there you go.
Oh, damn it, yes. Okay, there goes my smugness. Smugness removed.
This is like the nerdiest dick swinging competition.
It is indeed.
Mine is in Stansted at the moment, so going to turn up when I'm at work. When I'm in the office, I should say. Hey-ho.
Yeah, at least you'll get them, you know.
Yes.
And so were you impressed, Rich, or what's the kind of verdict?
Yeah, really like them.
Yeah?
Really like them, yeah. They're good.
Cool.
Not quite as scary as I was expecting, I have to admit.
Okay, spoiler. Well, it's okay. Then I can definitely open them with Ben, my young lad. So that's good for him. Good news for him. All right, let's get into the main event of the night, of the day, whenever you're listening to this.
The EuroLegions podcast. End of year awards.
There we go. Now you have to be really ready for it, huh? If you weren't pumped before, now you are.
Now I know why you asked us to wear our tuxedos, John.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I know that was an inconvenience, but...
I feel like I should be shirtless and waving a large sword like Conan around at that point with that sort of intro.
Or just a vampire ripping legs off stuff.
Yeah.
Running around. And then...
my best figures, I will slay my enemies.
Yeah. And then Mal, I have when you have to make a really big decision, we have a sound effect for that as well. Or we can go with this one.
That's a good one.
So we're fully armed. So we've got some categories. I think we should maybe just briefly overview the categories before we get in, so people can maybe get their heads into the right frame of mind for where we're going with this. So I've got the top 5 Cosmic, the top 5 Mythic, the top 3 Figura Obscura, because top 5 would be a bit comical. Then the top 10 overall from any Four Horsemen figure for the year. Then we have Best Sculpt. That's up to you, what you think is the best sculpt. It can be a piece of an accessory, it can be a part of a figure, it can be an entire figure, as you like. Best paint, same criteria there. Best new part, so something new that came with a figure or an accessory or whatever, but we also have best accessory. So if you want to cover the accessories with that one. Then we have just for fun, but our least favorite. You know, we just have to put some balance into the show here. That could still be, as Mal will probably say, probably one that he just likes a bit less.
Spoiler alert for me, that could be like 5 or 6, however many Noble Bear characters were in that list.
So those are all from figures we received in hand this year, and that's 50 figures. Can you believe that? 50? And then of the reveals then we talk about, we're we're going to go for our top 3 Mythic and top 3 Cosmic, because otherwise we'll be here all night. That's 36 reveals we got this far this year. But I think they are running on that 50 figures, because then if you add in reinforcements, which might come again next year. We also had the game figures this year, which weren't kind of a reveal. The previous year they were a bit longer away. And also, I guess, the other waves will kind of come, but they seem to be running at about that 50. Then you got the Figura Obscura, of course, which are never really reveals. They're just, you get them in hand pretty much within the week or two after they get revealed. So the biggest surprise of 2023, then, that's a fun little one. Our favourite overall reveal as well, which may indeed be one of the top 3 Mythic or Cosmic that we have, but it could also be a Figura Obscura in there, I suppose. Then we also wanted to shout out for our, because we're big fans of the third-party market and, of course, the community itself. So we have Best Sculpt in the 3D printers market. So sculpts that we've seen released this year from the 3D printers. Favorite custom that we saw. There may be a couple of special mentions in those. I know I definitely have more than one. Top 3 toy photographies, pictures that we have. And again, these ones are, we didn't have a definitive list that we could go down and sort through. These were ones that we just kind of had to remember ourselves and, maybe go back through some of our favorite, for example, photographers and see what we think. There is obviously other awesome pictures that we're going to pick and miss in those categories, but we thought it would be nice to give a shout out to the community as well. So if you're a toy photographer, stay tuned. You could be getting a shout out later. Likewise, 3D parts makers and the customizers. So, that sound good? Are we all prepared? I didn't see any shocked faces when I went through the categories again that somebody had maybe forgotten to prepare on one or the other category. Or Richie just totally winging it.
I'm doing the duck thing, so my feet are going like crazy, but what you're seeing is just complete calm. I'm
so less stressed this week because your mic is nicely there.
That's thanks to you, John, and your very generous early Christmas gift of a mic stand.
Well, that was me being a bit of an a-hole, but also a bit of a friend. I thought there was enough of both to make a balance there.
It was extremely kind of you. It was the second best free gift I received this week.
Oh, can you tell us about the first one, or is that?
Yes. So the first one was a friend that I made at Legions Con. Lovely American gentleman by the name of Brett Stoddart.
Brett, good lad.
We'd conversed a little bit because I think he was born in the UK, so he spent the first few years here and then moved over. Brilliant guy. Had lots of fun with him. And he messaged me a few weeks back going, "You're right, give me your address, or should I send you a little gift?" I was like, "No, don't be silly, you don't need a gift." He's like, "No." And then lo and behold, a couple of days ago, a red mask Figura Obscura turned up.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Brett, because he knew I didn't have that.
He's been listening, huh?
Yeah, he clearly has. And that was, just incredible. I just messaged him going like, "Dude, whoa, that's a really expensive gift. Thank you so much." But so I now have that in my collection.
I think we'll have to give him a little bit of a round of applause there. Yeah. That's just for you, Brett.
Yeah, awesome. Really nice guy. Can't wait to meet him again at Legions Con next year.
Yeah. He also does, friends with him on Facebook since Legions Con, and he does a photo every day, some sort of a nature photograph. I really like that. I like his consistency, like with our show every Friday.
And he also saved me money over in America because he gave us a lift back from the Four Horsemen studio after.
Oh yeah, we did talk about that. I think
as well, so even better.
I remember talking about that. I'm sure we talked about it on our Legions Con.
We did. We
recap.
Did. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so top 5 Cosmic. Shall we start with that? That's the way I have it in my list. We can go around the tables 5, then 4, 3, 2, 1. I think that keeps the suspense going a little bit. And if you want to say anything in particular about the figure or why it's there, of course, feel free. This is a podcast. We don't want to just list numbers and go on to the next. Yeah. So, Mal, seeing as you are our resident Cosmic #1 fan, kick us off there with your number 5 and maybe special mentions, or should we leave them till the end then? Let's leave them till the end. We don't want to spoil what comes after.
Well, my number 5 is kind of 2 figures. So
He's cheating already,
I don't
Rich.
do this a lot.
There's a shock.
I promise I don't do this a lot, but from 1 to 4 in Cosmic, it was easy enough. But then when it came to the 5th choice, it was like, there's so many other good ones. But in the end, it felt like I needed to have a female figure in there. So it's Zirian, Spire, or Vorga I've gone with, and I'm torn between which one of them was my favourite of the female figures. But I think, you need to get a female figure in your top 5 because the female figures in Cosmic seem to renew everyone's love of female figures and interest in female figures from that point on. So, yeah, it's... Let's go Vorga. I'm going Vorga.
Oh, okay.
Definitive. Let's go Vorga.
He's going Vorga. I was going to say go Zeri, but okay.
Well, reasoning being 1.0 female. It was the invention of the 1.0 female. Well, not the invention, but the reveal of.
Yeah.
So,
Rich, what you got?
Number 5, I have Kragnar.
An ogre. Scale,
yeah,
sorry. There's a surprise.
Big hunking space brute, which I love, and just the 4 arms. When they first showed him, I was like, that's pretty cool, Borns. He was one of the first ones open, and once I got him in my hand, I was just like, actually, this guy is just all sorts of fabulous.
He is great, isn't he?
I love him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the paint scheme on him. I think he's very much no QC issues at all with him. Everything works well.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably wouldn't often have an ogre in the top 5 sort of thing because I think they're more limited to what they can do sometimes in terms of sculpt and all that sort of thing. But he's just a fabulous figure.
Yeah. Yeah, can't deny that. My number 5 is the Sentry. It's an epic builder figure. Great for customs. Being a customizer myself, I've customized a few already. Just an excellent figure if you wanted to show people kind of intro to Cosmic. It has all the parts you'd need for a kind of space dude. They are the stormtroopers, I think, of Cosmic Legions so far, at least.
I think that was part of why I found it so difficult, is because there you go, even the Legion builder has something of extra merit in how good it was and how versatile it was and how fun it was as a figure.
Definitely, yeah. I agree. So, Mal, bring us in with your number 4.
As I say, it's starting to get easy from here because there's definitely 4 top figures. Number 4 is Canucksville. He's been a bit of a surprise for me. As we talked about a bit in the last show where we did a bit of a review of the figures, his colour was better than I imagined, and those cyborg parts just all look so good. He's just a really fun-looking figure.
Cool. I really like him as well. As I said last week, I think he was my number 2, but doesn't make my list. So, Rich, who have you got?
I've got Vorga at number 4.
Very good. Well, we can do 2 for the price of 1 here because I have Vorga as number 4 as well.
Yeah. I was just I think I said at the time, but I was genuinely surprised by how good she was in hand. I thought she looked quite good, but then once you get her in hand and, with the gun and the tattoo and the different head options, just a brilliant figure.
Yeah, truly excellent, yeah. Yeah, I love the shading on the bare arms even, just adds a little bit more. The 2 head sculpts are great. Accessory is fantastic. The backpack, just perfect. And, having a 1.0 female buck then leads into, like, for example, Neve in Rising Suns. Just really, really great kind of evolution for the line. And Vorga was the start of it there. Right, number 3. Shall we go back then? Rich, what's your number 3? We go backwards.
My number 3 is the Sentry.
The Sentry. Very good.
Yeah. I love it and hate it because it's basically what's throwing me down the rabbit hole for Cosmic Customs. Because as I said, sent you guys every painted head I had pretty much on top of it going, yeah, that would work. But it is just the perfect builder. You can do so much with it. And even I can paint it. That's my post-Christmas first thing on my to-do list is start paint a couple of the sentries up myself.
Even just painting between the lines. And I mean, what you really need to do is just know how to thin your paint and have a bit of patience with the coats and slightly steady hand. There isn't amazing techniques needed there to make it look cool. Very, very.
So steady hand. So I need a few drinks first then. Okay, I can do that.
Noted. Well, and as you proved in our message thread, any head looks good on the sentry.
It absolutely does.
Absolutely any head.
It does.
Great fun with that. I went number 3 with the Grave Ring Oleg Tiger, so that's the bare-chested one, because I just loved that those body parts, the fact that it kind of is a little bit kind of almost kind of reptilian. I like to have those parts. I actually got a few extras and I haven't got around to using them yet, but I'm looking forward to this year doing a couple of customs with those parts, and I really like that figure. Probably the other one is it because it's a deluxe, the other Oleg Tiger? Yes, it is maybe technically the better figure, but this one I just liked better. I don't know why. Also maybe it's easier to mash together with Mythic,
The other one, though, the minute you're including the sentry, you're kind of covering a lot of the parts on that other Oleg as well, aren't you, though? So,
but there's nothing wrong with including both of them. Just quick about what's not coming for me. But there's nothing wrong with that, yeah.
No, not at all. They're different figures, but, that's perhaps, why John went for the one over the other. Cause
definitely, yeah. I skew a bit Mythic anyway, and even though I love Cosmic, if something I can swap into Mythic, the first thing I did with him, apart from play around with him, was take all the blue body parts and put all the Mythic armor on him and see what he looked like.
Yeah.
Literally, I have a photo on my camera roll. I was like, that was one of the first things I did when I opened Cosmic. Try and make a Mythic figure. It's like, oh, you're so sad.
Not at all. Not at all.
For some reason, and I don't know why, considering my love of snake men and lizard men and all that sort of stuff, I've only got a couple of him.
Yeah. You might live to regret that.
More at Legions Con. I might well live to regret that, yeah.
And they don't have...
Oh, well.
Must see because there is still sales going on, so you might be able to pick him up. Pick a name up for 40 now. That could be one of the best things you do with your Christmas money that you get from Grandma or whoever. if we still have Grandma to give us Christmas money,
we don't.
Not,
but
no. Yeah. But you know what I mean. Kind of the same kind of thing. You might have an old aunt that throws you a 50 every Christmas or something. No, not
even you a 50. How wealthy are your old relatives, John?
Well, we don't have, we don't have your very valuable English money. We have this euros. 50 euros is like it's like toilet paper and then 50 euro notes. I mean, that's the kind of scale. Don't even talk about it. 20. I mean, 20. Jeez, line the cat litter with them. Get you nothing. We've done away with the 1 cent and 2 cent and 5 cent coins. I think they're no use to nobody, and yet things are still $3.99 or $5.99. Don't get it. They actually have that in Ireland. Everything's rounded to 5, but they still price it in 99s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just so dumb. It should be illegal. Anyway, before I derail this, you're number 3, Mal, and I have to keep track of where we're going here.
I'm literally doing a swap as on the go. So my number 2 is becoming my number 3, and my number 3 becoming my number 2. And number 3 is the Sphexian Prison Guard.
Ooh,
and I'll explain.
Wow. And we'll find out later what he swapped that for.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, anything you want to say about the Sphexian Prison Guard?
Just the Sphexians are such an awesome figure. They're probably my favourite. Well, by this list, then apparently not. But they're my sort of favourite thing in all of Legions in terms of the profile and the look of the figure, and the bugs they're just cool. They're just really cool.
Definitely, yeah. What's your number 2, Rich?
My number 2 is, and this sounds like I'm doing a drum roll, but I've forgotten. It is the Havalkatar Oleg Thygar.
The
same parts as the Sentry.
Who we just mentioned, yeah.
This was the first Cosmic figure that they revealed, and it's still my favourite. Well, no, probably my second favourite, actually, let's be honest. But it's still in the top 2. The blue and orange colours. I love the couple of different head sculpts with the big bubble helmet, and if I'm thinking of a space suited alien, then this is exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's excellent. Yeah, and it just it also, I think this is the figure in that wave that shows you the potential of those parts. That came with the Sentry and the Science Officer. When you see them kind of painted, where there's differentiation between the different kind of pieces, and where there's kind of 3 different paint apps on the one piece to show the different kind of pieces of fabric that are, or whatever armor that are on the suit, then it really looks amazing, even up another level. And it also shows you what you can do with the Sentry and a paintbrush,
Absolutely.
And, slightly different colors, but great, yeah. Cool. So my number 2 was Mal's number 3, the Sphexian Prison Guard. Definitely my favorite figure of Wave 1. Really excellent figure. Just loved the colors, the armor color, that kind of almost kind of color change or kind of iridescent armor. Really give the kind of bug-like feeling. You ever see a bug in the sun, or kind of a, any sort of a flying thing in the sun, they often are kind of black, and then they move into the sun, and then they change to that kind of, almost kind of all colors of the rainbow as the kind of light reflects off them. So I really liked that they got that effect with it. And I just prefer the paint scheme over the other Sphexian that we've gotten so far, which is why I have him up ahead of him. But excellent figure. I could say, similar accessories to the other Sphexian, but excellent. Really, really good figure. Mal, what's your number 2?
Mine is and this is where I've swapped them over, the Sphexian Block Commander.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you argued the point with me then?
Well, no, I agree with everything you said about the Prison Guard. That's why initially I put him as...
Yeah, but why do you put the other one above him then?
But I swapped them around for the head sculpt. Purely
okay, sculpt. That is...
Because the bug head sculpt is so cool.
It is cool, yeah. And that is actually what excites me a lot about the one coming in Outpost Axios.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think... so, do we all have the same number 1? Because otherwise we're not friends, I think, because he hasn't been mentioned.
I think there's a pretty decent chance, isn't there?
Okay,
yeah, so Tusk Engineer.
Novian Lean is the number 1 figure of Cosmic for the year, for the Legions podcast. Definitely. We have waxed lyrical on him on the last episode. He's just an amazing figure. I seen even Jeremy Gerard did a G.I. Joe Cobra Bat custom today in the Cabal with the boots from Novian Lean, and you can already just see how cool those boots are just because of how useful they are in a custom like that. I love him. All the toy photography I've seen with Novian Lean has blown my socks off. It makes me want to go out and make my own photos. There's been people taking photos of him in the nature and he looks amazing. There's been people taking photos of him like in a kind of sci-fi kind of dark and kind of lit, kind of moodily lit kind of scene, and that looks amazing. So yeah, absolutely incredible. Trevor did a photo with him and was it Mbira, I think?
Yes.
It's incredible as well. So Novian Lean, can't say. Do you boys have any more? Don't give me the spotlight for Novian.
No, Novian Lean, just another one that you can literally put any head sculpt on that body and it's awesome. And
and he just gives that
any
sort of
character.
gritty. Yeah, and he gives that, for me, he gives that gritty space sort of feel. I love my space suits, but I also like the gritty rebel type sort of feel, which that build gives us.
Excellent. Right, on to the top 5 Mythic. And this I struggled with a bit more because I think the end of the year was skewed more cosmic in terms of what we got in hand. And I had kind of had to rack my brains a bit more about the Mythic because I hadn't maybe thought about them as much as I had cosmic in more recent times, apart from the Mythic reveals, but the ones that we received this year for sure. Now, we did get the reinforcements recently, which were definitely cool, but I think when you reflect back, there might be other ones that come into consideration before them. So, do you want me to kick it off with my number 5 Mythic?
Yeah, go for it.
So, Attila 2.
Okay.
Really thought he was an excellent figure. I think what tips him over the edge for me more than Gorgo in that 2-pack, which, okay, Gorgo's not in my top 5, but the head sculpt, he's got the 2 face plates and also that unhelmeted head. And that unhelmeted head looks amazing on every single cosmic figure that you can put it on.
Yeah.
As a space marine or as a kind of just a space dude. So, that is just superb. I love the gold a million times more than the previous Attila. The soft goods are great. He finally arrived, which is also a plus in his column in terms of my outlook on him.
The cape, incredible.
The cape,
as well.
yeah. The cape is just the pauldrons. These pauldrons are amazing. May never get them on another figure. I don't know, because they're very specific to him. A bit like the Arathir pauldrons, isn't it? They're very specific to him. So they went all out in him. I love him. He definitely deserves a spot in my top 5. He gets number 5, which tells you that there are some very good figures this year, or some figures that I just really like this year. So, what have you got for your number 4, Mal? Or your number 5, Mal, sorry.
I have gone with the Xylonian Guard for number 5.
Yeah, excellent figure. Yeah, he definitely deserves a spot in there somewhere.
Yeah, fantastic figure. Just, one of those... I mean, this isn't really about the figure itself, I guess. I don't know, but you got it in hand and it was striking, even though it's not the most complex paint app. The paint app on it was just so good. Looked so clean. The use of soft goods and plastic, so you've got the choice.
That was a great decision, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. And he came with the shield, didn't he? It was the Xylonian Guard.
He got the pop-out shield, yeah.
Excellent.
Which is something I should have mentioned on Attila too as well, yeah.
Yes.
That is definitely a plus in the plus column for me, always.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Number 5 for you, Rich?
5 for me is the Vampire Phalanx.
Yeah, good one.
It would have been higher, but for the shiny armor.
Okay.
It's a vampire and I love it, but that shiny sort of glossy black is not top of my want list.
So even in the other vampires, like the Vampire Legion
it's
builder,
not too bad in any of the other ones. It's like the Legion builder is a bit meh, but then it's a 2.0, and we know my feelings about 2.0, despite picking a lot of them as my favorite figures. But on the plus side of it's a vampire.
Yeah.
It's got a slightly slimmer build than Voliga, which I like.
Yes, it really is a good build for a vampire.
Yeah, because Vampire Knight, Vampire Knight is still my favourite Mythic Legions figure. Yeah. And I really like the really slim vampires. But having said that, you're going to need a few more beefy ones, but maybe not to the degree that Voliga's beefy. So I like the fact it was slimmed down a little bit.
This could almost pass for, a slim vampire in a slightly bigger armour, rather than the...
Yes.
The 1.0 full build,
Yeah. So very nice figure. I intend buying another 5 in the in-stock reinforcement sale.
Very good. I'm sure you'll get them, no problem. Actually, I think that is Carpathius is that kind of in-between black. It's kind of satin almost. And I do think I do prefer that type of black for the vampires. You might be right. Yeah, the glossy is just too glossy.
Yeah, I mean, I bought a lot of the Black Knights
Yeah.
in the last reinforcements thing, but again, it's similar glossy black, and I've sold most of them.
Yeah.
It's just a bit too glossy.
I find with them, you really have to prime them. You can't just paint on them. I don't know if maybe you can dry brush on them, but you definitely can't just paint layers of paint on top of them. It will just go all slimy. It'll slide all over the place on it. It won't stick to it without the coat of primer. So there's a top tip. Right, number 4, Mal, what you got?
It's the one that's probably a bit debatable as to whether it should be counted in this year because it's a re-release. It's the Silverhorn Sentry.
No, definitely. It's for me. It's a new figure.
Yeah,
comes in a new package. It's not even. And I mean, we're even including the All Stars as eligible for this for sure.
Yes,
because for most people, they're new figures.
I love the Silverhorn Sentry from I did have one. He's a bit old and a bit grotty, so I need
I'm sure the paint job was better on the new one as well.
Yeah, exactly that.
Cleaner.
There aren't many figures I want multiples of, but there's something about the Silverhorn Sentry. I really, really like it. And I think it still stands up to all the newer stuff as well.
Yeah.
Even though it is parts wise and paint apps, and although maybe that's not fair, but parts wise it's a bit more oldie and basic.
Yeah.
Actually, build and paint, it stands up to all the new stuff for me. So.
Excellent. Yeah, okay. For me, number 4, I had the Waltor skeleton. It's an excellent skeleton. Figure. It's a really good. Yeah. I was excited to get it, but I was way more blown away than I thought it would be once I got it in hand. The torso is new. It's fantastic. The head, I love that head. I think we're getting it again with maybe Therasis. Is that right? Or some version of it. I think the lower jaws may be different on Therasis or something. But I love that kind of, used to be a Viking kind of skeleton. Just a brilliant figure. The brown leather color scheme, and also the kind of greens really work well on the armor. Yeah, I just really like it. It's got loads of cool accessories. Obviously, being a bit of a deluxe-y 2-pack helped it, but they'll still be in the single pack. Apart from this is the Cabal T-shirt, which is not super important for. If you're interested in just getting a cool skeleton. So, definitely well worth getting. It's going to be a great addition to your Necronominous army.
Yes, I kept my stuff that I actually had in this one. So as I'm sold and selling,
you had a Walter.
Then, yes, but I didn't actually play with it. So I've left him out of my list of options.
Well, so if you buy from the Jones 1, 2, 3, 4, you will, when he says they are mint in package, they probably are mint in package.
They are gleaming and well wrapped.
Repacked, yeah. Rich sent me a bunch of 3D parts to paint for him today, and they came immaculately packaged. I can only recommend the shipping from the Jones 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you very much, John.
Yeah.
I'll slip you that $5 later. Thank you.
You said a tenner.
You've already said the good stuff now, so.
So, Rich, we're still waiting on your number 4,
My number 4 is the Templar Relic Guard.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so he's gone for 2 reinforcements so far.
I have.
Which means he hasn't scalped them all.
No. It's been in hand, it's been I was going to say weaker. Weaker's not the right term, but a lesser year for Mythics. There just haven't been as many figures.
I think Poxus, next year could be a bumper year for this show if we get Poxus and Necronominous landing in the same year. We're going to have top 10 Mythics, top 10.
And I think, I was going to say, I think there's a decent chance we'll get All-Star 6 next year as well. So that's going to be insane.
Yeah, then it will be top 10 Mythics for sure.
Yeah. It's a Templar. You know my love of Templars.
Yeah.
I like the setup. So when they're talking about 12 guards and that sort of stuff, now I might not get 12.
No, I
but
mean you don't have to be that faithful to the story.
Yeah, but it's the idea of the helmets. So normally I have unhelmeted customs, but actually for these guys, I really like the idea of having one my leader unhelmeted, and then the rest wearing helmets of various sorts. And obviously, it comes with 2. The Father Christmas ones go with it as well. So, yeah. And finally, I can nick the idea that I saw somebody else do ages ago, which is a black Jaguarian head on a Teutonic Knight body. Which is what this is.
Yeah,
so the heads pack with that finally got there. So, yeah.
Nice. Post a pic. Come on, over Christmas you'll have a bit of time. Post some pics.
Oh yeah,
of your stuff.
I will say that is probably my favourite of the Templars. I think that white with the black cross looks really, really good.
And it looks great, doesn't it? Yeah.
And I think we've mentioned it maybe when we reviewed them, but the silver is excellent. I love that silver.
Yes.
One of my favourites. Nerd shades of silver. Right. So we're on to number 3, are we? We all given our number 4?
We are. Yep.
Right, I'll go number 3 first. The Valiant Knight. I think I could have easily slotted him in at number 1, but I don't know. I felt like it was 2 other figures that I just maybe liked a bit more, just kind of more as figures than this as an action figure is perfect, in terms of a knight action figure. The articulation, people have gone well into what it is. Again, with that silver is excellent. The pieces you get with him are excellent. The shield is really cool. The little spiky ball thing on the chain, the 2 heads you get with the Valiant Knight are great. So yeah, just really a great figure. A huge surprise at Legion's Con that I think because we had a booth and we were so kind of concentrated on that and kind of busy with that, we didn't maybe get as hyped as we would have if we were just on the show floor, kind of like as punters as we were the year before. We would have probably gone bananas with this guy. Mal, yeah.
It's an interesting one because, spoiler, he doesn't make my list.
Yeah, but you have always said you're not the hugest Knight fan, even though you like this guy.
That's what it comes down to. He's a great figure, and he's probably my favourite standard Knight figure. And he is, as you say, the articulation and everything makes him a great figure. But yes, I've probably gone for more things with more of a look to them in my list. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are our lists. These are not the definitive best lists. These are what we like the best.
For sure.
Yeah, so that's my number 3. I have 2 of them, and I have opened 2 of them, and it would be very difficult for me to sell them. I know I could probably make a bit of money off them and buy them again, but I just like them too much to be arsed to do that, to be honest. So, and that's no shot at Mr. Jones over there, who's, maybe
Mr. Jones isn't affected by any of this anyway. He's just like, yeah, that's fine with me.
He may never get one, Imagine they just sell out like hotcakes. Well, telling you what, I don't know how many of these they have in stock, but like there is literally a lot of hype around these. So you might want your 5 vampire phalanx, but you will definitely have to be shooting these into the cart and flying out with the Valiant Knight very quickly before you go back for your vampire phalanx.
Yes, well, it'll be karma getting its own back on me if they do sell out.
True, and that's the risk you take, you see, with selling these stuff. So I think it's a give and take thing. You have the money, you may not have the figure, and if you want the figure, well, then you probably use the money that you got from him to get him back on eBay.
Yeah, basically.
Anyway, and we will get lots of these cool nights next year. We will be talking about this articulation ad nauseum as the waves come in next year. So get ready for that. Right, number 3 for you, Rich.
Number 3 for me is Swig.
Oh, wow!
I love this evil little sucker.
Yeah.
He's just to me, and excuse the language, he's just a cheeky little bastard.
Yeah.
He's a really fun figure. I love the face sculpt. The colours. I like the fact we've got that goblin torso build, but in a much, well, not better, but in a very different color scheme to the Goblin Legion builder, which I've got numerous ones of. Yeah, I just love the little fella.
Yeah, I don't like him at all. So sorry,
but this is what makes this fun, John. Is that
yeah. And well, I mean, I have one.
Some people like Ravenna, for instance. Who knows why?
I think the biggest, and maybe I'll just take it off and put a different one on. But the bright purple soft goods don't work for me with him. So, but I haven't actually messed around where maybe I put a different kind of skirt piece on him or whatever. And
yeah, or you could even do one of the Lords of the Rings, like Goblin skirt pieces or something on him. That would
if I had one.
Well, I've not tried it yet. I can rip. I've got about 100 Lord of the Rings figures upstairs, John. I can rip you one off and send it to you.
Cool, sounds good. Well, you try it first and send me a pic and see what it looks like, and maybe we can go from there.
Grand, we can do that.
Right, Mal, you're number 3.
Duban. I think he's an excellent figure. We got more use of the cloth parts and the leather boots that had more leather to them, and the leather gloves, of course, that had more leather to them. But then the addition of that hood and that cape, he's got a very, I mean, I think it's deliberate. He's got a very sort of Strider from Aragorn from Lord of the Rings vibe, and he was always one of my favourite characters from that, along with Gimli, of course. So he's just an excellent fit. Oh, and of course the accessory of the bird as well, even though we'd had a bird with Valak. I know he is very much the Valak build, but it's just very cool. That build is awesome. Valak's one of my favourites as well. So
yeah. Rich, what have you got for 2?
Number 2 is the Xylernian Guard.
Ah, interesting.
It's a nice, again, I think the fact that, with all due respect to Xylernian Guard, the fact it's number 2 shows that it's not been that strong a year for Mythics. But the shield obviously is great. Green's my second favourite colour. The armour goes with lots of stuff, and the 2 head option is great too. I love the fact that you can swap over the face plates. You got the Wispling, you got the other elf. Combination of parts is a winner for me.
Yeah, copy paste. Number 2 for me is the Xylernian Guard. It's an excellent figure. I love that type of guard. I was always kind of regretting not having a Silverhorn Sentry, because I love Xylonus Flock, and having kind of members of the army is cool. And now we got another one, and then we got the Silverhorn Sentry back as a kind of re-release. So I've gone from kind of having a couple of elves in the flock to having now some proper guards of the flock. So I love it. Yeah, the shield, as Rich said, is a highlight for me. Definitely love it. Probably should have picked more of these up while they're still going. This could be another one that I come to regret I don't have enough of, 5 years down the line. But sure, you can come back and listen to this episode and be wise after the event. Rightio. So we're down to number 1. So my number 1.
No, you haven't got my number 2.
Have I not? Oh, sorry, Mal.
Was Duban, wasn't it?
Yeah. Number 2 for Mal. Sorry, this is where you need to keep me honest.
It's Vorgus Familius version 2.
Yeah, he's a good pick.
I know I said before I go back and forth between which one I like the most between him and the original, but it's an excellent figure. This is, a fantastic figure, and it's Vorgus. The story is as
the bio is fantastic, and that you can do the 3 stages of the kind of bio almost with the figure, with the kind of con figure
as well.
Yeah, the cape
is incredible. So he's my number 2, and that's it. I'm going to end there. Yeah. I was going to give away my number 1 accidentally.
Okay. Well, you can go on to your number 1 now because...
okay. All right, let's do that, because then what I was going to say is, and in some ways, it's the second half of the 2-pack, because my number 1 is Attila.
There you go.
I'm daft about his character being a dick and all that.
Can still like the figure.
Yeah, and we proved he's a dick now. We've gone through enough detail. He clearly is a dick.
Yeah.
But that figure. It's
go back to episode 9 and 10, and I think you'll get through that. 8 as well, maybe.
The original version was one I was very tempted to pay the money he was going for at the time and get him, because I loved that helmet. And then they did we're doing the redo, the 2.0 and the version 2, let's say. And I was just like, that smashes the original out the water big time. So yeah, totally, he's fantastic.
Yeah, I had my say in him earlier. I agree. He's higher up your list, but I still agree with everything you say. My number 1 is Duban. I just love him as a figure. I love the color. Yeah. I love that Rich created a bit of controversy about the blue in the community.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up again, John.
Come on, any chance I can get. He comes with a hands pack. He comes with an amazing, worth the price of the figure soft goods cape. The bird accessory is incredible. You can also just take it off and custom paint it into something else. You can definitely have a few of him. You can make him kind of you can just put like a helmeted head on him, or just a kind of generic hood. There's a couple of hooded 3D parts out there, with the kind of with a generic mask or face sculpt underneath him, as you like. That works really well with him. It's just cool. And I love the whole ranger thing on the horse. So then he goes on the horse, which makes really real sense. And I love Robin Hood, so almost just that kind of, it gives me that kind of vibe of him, Not that it reminds me of Robin Hood, the character, but, that sort of era, you would see a guy going through the forest on a horse like this guy, Yeah. Yeah.
Put up cape bellowing.
Exactly, yeah, over the horse. And the fact that you can do that with this cape is a big bonus. So what you got for number 1, Rich?
My number 1 is Attila.
Okay, as well.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
So two
similar
people.
sort of reasons as Mal.
Yeah.
I never liked the armor color on that old one. I had him on display because obviously he's a faction leader, but I never ever liked the armor color. So to get the bright, shiny bling, look at me, I'm a dick, gold is very cool. That unhelmeted head, well, I mean, you've talked about it, John. It just goes with everything. It's incredible. And again, the badass shield.
Yeah.
The combination of all that stuff means that he's a really good and much better presence on my shelf now than the old one was. So he's number 1 for me.
Yeah, good choices, guys. I think I can't argue with most of them. I mean, I did have them in a different order, but I think we were all in or around the ballpark there, weren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Rightio, let's move on to Figura Obscura. So, number 3, I have the Mask of the Red Death. So there wasn't too many to choose from here, but the Mask of the Red Death was my number 3. I just really liked the kind of new parts we got here with him. I love the accessories, the puddle of blood, the clock. Just the red cloak, everything. The creepy head when you kind of split it apart. No real connection to the story, but as an action figure, awesome. Yeah, love him. What's your number 3, Mal?
Yeah,
sorry, Rich. Yeah.
I was going to say he's my number 3, for the same reasons as you, John. So yeah, we can wrap that up in one.
Okay, there you go.
I actually did top 5 and included the retailer exclusives.
Well, you could include them for sure. Yeah, I just don't have any of them.
So everything then from this year, then John, then Mal.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can go for it. This is your podcast as well as ours.
Okay, so let's just.
You do your 5 to 3, and then we can go to 2.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I actually went 5 Green Santa, 4 Mask of the Red Death.
Okay.
And then my number 3 was the Headless Horseman, the retailer version of the Headless Horseman. Because I think he might actually be better than the original.
Quite possibly, but I have the original, so I just couldn't justify getting him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's say for me, retailer Headless Horseman, but Mask of the Red Death if we're going by the ones from this year.
No, they are from this year as well. It's what we received in hand. So
I think the retailer Headless Horseman would have been in mine if I'd actually got around to buying one. He would have been in there, but
do you have the original?
Yet, so I couldn't do it. I did, and then I sold it when they revealed the retailer one because the retailer one looked much better.
It's.
I haven't actually buying the retailer one yet. So.
Oh, seriously, Rich, get it because the box is lovely. It will be a. There's a texture on the glow in the dark parts of the box.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I just find myself touching that every so often.
Oh, behave.
Okay, we've gone off track. We're into mal-touching things.
Last week he was smelling things. This week he's touching them. Right. My number 2 in this category is Jacob Marley. It's very new. I had to kind of give it, I had to factor in a little bit of the recency bias here, but I still think he's number 2. He's got so many new parts. There's an awesome surprise in the safe, apparently, Rich. The jacket is amazing. The harness, the chains, the build. And I have to say, I said last week that the alternative open mouth face looked a bit cartoonish. In hand, it does not at all. No, it looks the same kind of type as the kind of traditional closed with the kind of tied with the tie head. So overall, he's a really excellent figure. Kind of blown away by him, to be honest. And any other year, he'd probably be number 1. What you got for number 2, Rich?
Number 2 is Jacob Marley again.
Okay.
I didn't think. I think I said at the time I didn't. We'd never want a Jacob Marley figure, but this one's awesome. The extra details like the chains, the lock boxes, etc., just shows what the Horsemen are doing now, particularly with the Figura Obscura line. And the semi-translucent parts and everything. It's just a great, great figure.
Yeah.
Oh, I broke my rule though, because he's obviously not in hand. Maybe that's okay. subconsciously me doing that because I'm still waiting for my shipping notice.
I think in this case though, because there's so few and it is going to be in hand very soon, isn't it? So I don't think that's too bad. Yeah, well, as John knows, I've swapped this around tonight. I've swapped it back and forth multiple times. But it's Jacob Marley's number 2. But I think it's 1A, 1B, isn't it? Because again, for all the reasons, the parts, those pirate boots on their own. But then I love the cloth arms and the cloth sleeves. They're my favourite parts from all of Legions. That open mouth head sculpt is so good. From the minute that was revealed, I was like, oh, I love that head. But yeah,
and the level of paint on it, the shading on the heads.
Well,
amazing.
There's not actually that much. I mean, there is a lot of paint, but there's not that many different colours of paint.
No, but the subtle shading is really excellent.
So good. Yeah. It's so effective. Yeah. So yeah.
So I guess
number 1.
I like to fight.
yeah.
It's the Monkey King.
And I think he takes it because of the extra bit of cloth goods and the monkey bits, the animal bits. They're just
as an action figure, he is incredible. I've also gone a bit more into the lore now. I've listened to a couple of podcasts about the myth of the Monkey King, and I watched a couple of episodes of Monkey, which is fantastic. I have to say, it's totally dated, but it's amazing.
Bonkers, but amazing.
It's bonkers, yeah. I love the song. That was actually a huge hit in Japan back in the day. I found out.
Really?
Yeah. Like number 1, like for weeks on end, kind of thing. He is just amazing. The armor, all the bits, the soft goods.
Although interestingly, I think one of you'd mentioning the armor there, the one of the things that made me go, oh, but is Jacob Marley just? Was I actually I prefer the way they've done. I mean, I know for Monkey King it has to be gold. It has to be that gold armor, but I like the more toned down version of it that we're going to get in the Rising Sun Wave. I think there's something about the darker shade to that one that I prefer.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for gold. Maybe I'm kind of, maybe I was from China in a past life or something, because I know they love their gold over there, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm like that. It's the bright, from that part of the world, the brighter the better. Again, I love the...
And it's the type of gold, it's like that Attila gold as well. It's that kind of yellowy, brownish gold that's kind of really cool. I like it. Rather than the more green gold,
He is a figure, full stop, that I'm so excited to see what we get retail away version of him.
Oh man, yeah. I just take a straight up repaint, in any whatever they decide to do. Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. I think he's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I know they teased the ghosts of Christmas on the Jacob Marley box. They probably won't do it because people don't know the kind of lore as much, but I'd love a few more Monkey King characters now that they've
be incredible,
done to that level. I mean, wow, what a crew,
Yeah, if we get Pigsy and Sandy at least, then I'd be a very, very happy man.
The tiger guy is, what's he called?
I don't actually know the tiger guy.
Okay,
no,
so
that's one of the ones that wasn't in the TV show.
I just love the look of him from the box art.
Yeah. But definitely want them in their animal forms, because if we get more of the animal parts.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Oh, 100%, absolutely, yeah.
And
removable face plates. It's such a cool use of that.
Yeah, they do so much cool stuff now. Yeah, one of the first things I went to get when I got away from our table at Legions Con was the Monkey King print from Nate Barch. Just that really elevated that figure, and that figure was already top of the charts. So
yeah.
Okay,
and it just brings the whole Eastern thing in. That's why it's number one for me. It's just it just opens up a whole new avenue for mythics, for cosmics, even if you go in a slightly spacey, oriental type sort of look to it.
Yeah.
Like, Brian Burke's already done that space samurai helmet, hasn't he, sort of thing. So the influence is starting there. So
yeah,
all very exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's our kind of top 5 cosmic, top 5 mythic, top 5 Figura Obscura. So the top 10 overall we can do maybe a bit quicker. Why don't we run through it 10 to 1 each rather than going around the houses like we've done? So I actually have a figure that I haven't mentioned so far in my top 10. So work that one out.
Yeah.
This is a McFarlane figure, John. It doesn't count. toe curl or not.
So, Mal, we'll start with you.
Shall I go first? And in at 10, Vorga. And at 9, Vorgus Familius. At 8, I've got them the wrong way around. So no, number 8 is Deban. Number 9 is Deban. Number 8 is Vorgus Familius. That's me swapping them last minute.
He couldn't just leave it. 8 and 9 is not important, but he couldn't leave it.
No, I got to get it right. Number 7, Canucks Vol. Number 6, Attila Leossier. That was why he went French then, I don't know. Number 5, Jacob Marley. Number 4, Monkey King. Number 3, Sphexian Prison Guard. Number 2, Sphexian Block Commander. And at number 1, Novian Lean. Interesting way of chopping them up there. Do you want me to go, Rich?
Yeah, go, John.
So, my kind of one that wasn't in the list is Vorgus 2, which gives you a hint that maybe the cosmics are not getting in there as much. Then I have, so he's 10. Number 9 is Walter Skeleton. Number 8 is Attila 2. Number 7 is Valiant Knight. Number 6 is Xylernian Guard. Number 5, Jacob Marley. Number 4 is Duban. And then we have number 3 and number 2 are Cosmics. The top 2, the Sphexian Prison Guard, and number 2 is Novian Lean, and number 1 is Monkey King, and him and Novian Lean are right up there, but I think Monkey King just figures too much good stuff with him. You know, it's very hard. As much as I love Novi and Lean, I just couldn't put him above the Monkey King. Such a good figure.
I must admit, I didn't think about the fact I could have included more cosmics, but I think I'm happy with what I've done anyway. I think.
Well, you
Tune in next week for Mal's new top 10 list.
Next year you can have another go at this, Mal.
Get it right next time. I
Rich.
already tell you.
Number 10, Kragnar. Number 9, Vorga. 8, the Sentry. 7, Swig. 6, Xylernian Guard. And then the big top 5. Number 5, Jacob Marley. Number 4, Attila Liasir. Number 3, Havalkatar version of Oleg Thygar. And like John, this was extremely close, but number 2 was Novian Lean, and then number 1, just because it's Eastern armor, it's bright, it's colourful, and it's not human, the Monkey King.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, so we got the number 2 and number 1 the same.
Yep.
Interesting, but yeah, I thought that was very interesting to do after doing the top 5s, to then and the top 3 Figura to do your top 10. Then is interesting after that to see where you slant.
If somebody said to me before the year started, your end of year review, there'll be a Figura Obscura at number 1, I'll be like, nah, you're talking nonsense. It's just not going to happen. And a Cosmic number 2, a Mythic's not in the top 3. It's just like, no, that wouldn't happen.
And that was that was episode 16 of the podcast. One of my favorites was the Monkey King episode, where we were just like, whoa, you know. Yeah, here he is.
Was that the one where you got it as well, John, and told us off for not being enthusiastic enough? Or was that the one where me and Mal were, not happy enough about having it?
No, definitely not. No, I think it was the one after that. I don't remember that. All right, so there's the kind of top 10s. Now we go on to more fun character categories that we can talk about, and then we go on to the reveals. How about that? Yeah?
Yep, all good.
So let's move on to the best sculpt. What do we got here? What you got, man? Best sculpt.
Funnily enough, this is then where I go against my top 10.
That's okay.
Monkey King.
Monkey King.
Yeah, I love that head sculpt. That's
Monkey King is mine as well. I mean,
and mine.
Yeah, okay. It is the best sculpt. Yeah, it's amazing. It's just got so much new sculpting. It was kind of at the time where we were just kind of going, how have they put so much new stuff in this figure? Is it real? Like, almost this goes against what we know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big time.
Yeah. Best paint then. This could be more diverse.
Mine's an interesting one. I'll go at first.
Yeah.
I've gone Kragnar.
I can't believe it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just love the way they blend in, and it's a lot of bare flesh to paint, but they've done a really good job.
It really works well. Yeah, I love the tone, and then the blue eyes, the kind of glossy blue eyes. Yeah, really excellent. Well, Mal, bring a bit of diversity to it here.
It's actually blank because my initial thing that I put was the Sphexian prison guard, but then I'm not sure that actually, just because that paint is really cool, it's the best paint app. Do you know what I mean? You see, no, I mean, you're holding up the Valiant Guard there. I don't think that either. Again,
oh no, that's not the best paint, but it's the best articulation. I'd say if we were to.
Yeah, it's sort of what's showing. I also was like the Xylonian Guard, but again, it's quite basic. But what paint is on it is really effective. So I'm back and forth so much on so many of them. Jacob Marley could be in there. Because, as we said earlier, very simple palette.
Make a choice. Come on, final answer.
You know what? I'm going with Jacob Marley.
There
very
you go.
Simple palette.
Yeah,
very simple palette.
Very effective.
Incredibly effective, yeah.
Yeah, because you're trying to do a ghost and not do him as crap as Hang On. So, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Jesus, John, this is glorious. You use that music all the time. We're getting decisions out of it.
I've replaced sitting on the fence music
you know it,
with just a big... Or I could play something like this, you know, when he's trying to decide. You know, there's Mal sitting in the corner, not so sure about what he needs to pick.
Put me to sleep.
Yeah, he's wondering if he's going to get to pick 3 or 4 things, or maybe 20. Poor Mal. Sorry, Mal.
If we ever do another live one on YouTube, we'll have to ask Mal a question, and then you put that GIF on rotate where the guy is sat on the swing seat and stood in the swimming pool, just like staring forlornly.
I love it. Okay, so we've gone through best paint, best new part. So this is where we get super nerdy. Anyone got?
This is where I.
Have you made a decision here, Mal? Can we go to Chris? No. Okay, Rich, what have you got?
I've got the Olek Gravering torso.
Ah, nice.
Because it just opens up lizard and snake men.
Yeah.
So, for me, that's the most important. That's the most important one of the year, basically.
Yeah,
that showed they were going down that line.
I went with the lower legs on Monkey King just because they're a little bit shorter. They just offer something new to the line. That whole kind of thing that you could make a kind of an in-between figure. I did have a special shout out for the arms on the Valiant Knight because they are some of the key to the new articulation. It's people talking about the torso, but it's really the arms between the shoulder joints and the elbow joints really help with that articulation. But I thought that was maybe just a bit cheaty because it was a bit of an easy out, I just thought. And that's coming next year, maybe with the Necronominous wave. So Mal, have you, you've had all that time to decide.
It's essentially 2 figures, isn't it? It's Novian Lean and Jacob Marley, and it's all the cloth bits, but also both of their boots are amazing. So it's, you know, and the Jacob, there you go. Jacob Marley's coat. There you go.
Jacob Marley's coat.
That's my favourite thing we've got.
Excellent. Do you have an answer for best accessory?
Yes. This was easy. Nice. And it's funny because it's one I'm probably not going to use very often, but the Cosmic Shield is just so good.
Cool. So that's the one that came with the Walter space guy and also, what's his name?
Ias.
And didn't it also come, did it also come with, what's his name?
Sligo. Yeah. And it's fantastic. It's such a cool piece, and there's so versatile the things they could do with it.
Yeah.
As I say, funnily enough, it's probably not something I'm going to equip to loads of customs, but
no, but it's cool, and they can do like a symbol, painted symbol on the front that looks really cool, like kind of more sci-fi than that. I stayed with Cosmic for the best accessory, and I put Vorga's gun. I really like it. Oh, you got the same. Jesus, Rich. What do we like?
I know. We're inside each other's heads, clearly, John, at the moment.
Yeah, so I just love that. It's just kick-ass, and it kind of rounds her off as being a total kick-ass 1.0 female build with this massive big gun, and you don't mess with her. And I just love it.
Yeah, and just the option... the Horsemen have done obviously with different end bits on, but there's the option for everybody else now as well to do the big gun parts and all that sort of stuff, and just the ammo belt out of it as well. Just a great piece.
Yeah, definitely. Right, to balance out the kind of circle jerk we've been having here, your least favorite figure of the year. While you laugh at my bad joke.
Sorry, I haven't heard someone say circle jerk for a while, so yeah.
Sorry. So mine is, and maybe it's just to actually kind of round out my fun year with the Mythic Legions Tactics figures, the Tactics female orc. Not for me. Yeah. Wasn't a big fan of it. It was okay, but it didn't offer much kind of. It wasn't a great figure, in my opinion. Yeah, that's.
I didn't mind her, but she's ended up being ripped up and used in Cosmic.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so. Yeah, great, good parts pack, but as a figure, okay, you have the head sculpt with the kind of painted, the white war paint or whatever. But other than that, no. What you got, Mal?
Romulus. Romulus, how do you say it? Yeah. I think partly I was a bit let down when he showed up. I think him. You'd have been
even more let down if you paid 200 quid for him, wouldn't you?
Well, although when you've done that, there's not probably so many other amazing figures out. This year's been the year that's kind of, killed some of the older figures in terms of would I bother picking them up? I forget, was it Azar, the yellow one? Glad I've got him. Azar, glad I've got him. But incredibly basic. He's probably just wins out over Romulus because of I quite like the black weapons and his armor and everything. So Romulus.
Yeah,
you, Rich?
Azar was very, very nearly my least favorite of the year too, but he just lost out to Okietos. I got one in hand.
You take that back. I
got one in hand finally about a month ago, and I just don't like it. I think it's probably just the blue, just the sheer amount of blue on it is just too much for me. So he will be going on the Jones 1, 2, 3, 4 before long.
I really like him. I think he's cool. Although
I think a lot of people did. It's just, and I thought I would. I even bought a custom head to get painted up to go with him, and then when I started having to play with him, it's just like, nope. No, just off me.
Even with the vampire?
Even with the vampire head and the multiple arms and everything, it's just, I can't get past that blue.
Fair enough.
So
it is, I think, sometimes the problem with some of the tributes, isn't it, is their colours are a little bit out there at times.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was even debating, could I use it for Cosmic somehow? Because Cosmic, you can go a bit more crazy with the colours, but no, he's going.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, let's move on to our favourites from the reveals. So, the reveals... Top 3 Mythic? We go with them first?
Yeah.
This was hard because top 3, but I really felt like we should narrow it down, just to make it kind of more difficult on ourselves, and also to have the possibility of leaving more out that people could get mad at us about,
And then we can talk about some of these as... we could talk about some of them as in-hand ones next year in the top 5 of those. So.
Yeah. So, my number 3, Exiles Under the Mountain. It's a bit of a cheaty one, but the Dwarf 2-pack.
That's a very good set.
Yeah.
Do you want my number 3?
Yeah.
Atlas the Conqueror.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's also a good one. Yeah, he was close for me, but didn't quite make it in. And you, Rich?
It certainly wasn't Atlas.
He can be your least favourite next year or the year after.
Well, you're gonna see my mythics are very, very. There's a theme.
oh, shock horror. For me, it was a Skeleton Raider.
Oh yeah, nice figure. Yeah,
I just having to think about it, and it's just the perfect skeleton builder for me. And it just screams Harryhausen and, Jason and the Argonauts and all that sort of thing. So, although it's relatively basic, although it's not a builder figure, it's, definitely makes on there for me.
Number 2?
I have the Kings Under the Mountain, Exiles Under the Mountain, 2-pack as my, which is, again, as you say, a bit of a cheat. So if I was narrowing it down, but it's the female dwarf.
You did say that on our show about this. The female was the one you preferred. So, and I understand that it's It's really unique.
different.
It's something we haven't had, on top of all the new parts.
Exactly that.
Be fun talking about the new favorite new part next year or the year after.
Jeez. Yeah.
We just, what part do you like?
The boobs. Well, we might do the boobs, yeah, but no.
Yeah. I like
no,
the chest.
no
piece.
titty talk. So, number 2 for you, Rich?
Yeah, it's Dispatar.
Ooh,
Our boy
it's
that
a
we
good one.
our boy, yeah.
got to reveal.
Yeah.
I've said before, but for me, it's perfect. It's
I mean,
snake-like.
if we were to talk about our favorite reveal in terms of reveal event, that would definitely be it.
I think there was a certain touch of class about that reveal, that made it the best reveal on the day, I'm sure.
It was without a doubt the best on the day. 100%. Yeah. Never mind Anthony, being so overjoyed he almost exploded. Never mind Casper virtually melting because he couldn't control himself. It's like, no,
that's bless.
Yeah, we were just calm about it,
Yeah, exactly.
Balance.
Funny, well read.
That's just the accent.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not British. My number 2 was Brodor, so he was my favorite in that wave, so I had to stay a bit consistent here. I could definitely have revisited that with a few others. I'm kind of I'm doing a bit of a mal now. I'm flip-flopping over what's my favorite. But I think I'll leave it now till they're in hand, and I'm going to stick with what I said initially. So Brodor, just cool Viking,
Yeah.
Want a Viking, love a Viking, can't wait to get a Viking. We got a Viking, can do part swaps, give him, the bare legs, give him whatever, use the different parts to build a couple of Vikings. So, yeah. Brodor, bring him on. And then my top was, anyone guess?
It wouldn't be a bear by any chance, would
No.
it?
No.
Oh,
No.
no.
No. True.
As long as it's not Atlas.
No.
Oh, the
It's not from.
boss
It's
guy
not. It's from the other wave.
Necronominus. The boss guy from Necronominus.
Yeah, Thorasis.
Oh, Thorasis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
I
the
forgot how much you
Necronominus
liked it.
shield, with
Yeah.
the kind of, as we talked about, that head sculpt on Walter, at least the same helmet from that. He's just a cool figure, the soft goods, the story behind him, the kind of, what is he, the 5th son of Necronominus or the 4th son? Or child, sorry.
Yeah, one of them.
One of them, yeah. So, kind of surprisingly another one, and he's actually the oldest one, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
So he's going to take over. Just amazing figure. Can't wait to have him and Brother Mandibulus and Beluolith and all those children of Necronominus on the one shelf with him.
Malleus is going to look a little bit boring, though, isn't he, on that group?
Might replace him with the Walter Orc or the Walter skeleton.
Yeah, when you think about how good the other 5 are, and then there's Malleus, and it's just like,
yeah, we can replace him with maybe use the Malleus head on the Walter skeleton build just to make him a bit different. Yeah,
Give him
so
2 axes.
excellent. Mal, what's your number 1 mythic for the year?
Just gave it away. The bear, Bodvar the bear. He's just never. Spoiler for another thing we're doing in a bit. Just never thought they would do it. Just never in a minute. Even with all the cool stuff they've been giving us, just couldn't see it happening. So when it did, it was wow.
Absolutely. Proper bear. Yeah. Rich, what you got?
damn that bear! It is Bodvar for me as well.
Wow.
I'm gonna put a noble bear.
You're a sucker for sucker for the big mounts and the animals and stuff, aren't you? As much as you love all those creepy figures, throw an ogre or an animal at you. And
what swung it for me with the bear was the fact it stands up. If it hadn't been the fact that it stands up and it's got those slashing claws, it probably wouldn't, as good as it is, it wouldn't be in my top 3. But that made the difference for me. That turned it from a really good figure to an absolutely outstanding, wow, I can do so much with this figure.
And along with that, as much as I don't, the trolls tend to be a bit of a problem because where do you put them? The fact that he was as big as a troll when he stood up was just like, That's cool. That's cool.
Well, it's kind of like they know what they're at with you, Rich, huh? And number 2, Mal, where do you put him? You put him on the coffee table in the sitting room, and everyone that comes in just goes, "What the hell is that? That's awesome."
You might have to.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you put some, like a Marvel Legend, and they go, "Oh, you're a bit of a weirdo." You put a big, massive bear, and they just go, "Wow."
I just like animals.
Or will
And
they
all
go,
these
that
night
bear's
dudes.
really look, that bear's really cool, but why have you got that stupid mismatched guy on the top of it with weird braids and all? What's going on there?
Kind of naked. Ooh.
Yeah, half naked man on top of a bear. What's that about?
That's me in a past life or a future life. Who knows? Do you want to come on the journey? All right.
You're saying that one too.
On to Mal's favourite. Top 3 Cosmic for the year. And we'll scare Mal. Come on, Mal. 3.
Okay, yeah. Number 3 got swapped out a few times, but
Come on.
finally settled on, because I think it's so unusual and going to be so fun, is the Lowland skate back.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to him. He doesn't make my list, but I definitely looking forward to him. And I saw the prototype at Legion's Con, and yeah, he's bigger than I thought. And kind of bigger head. It's kind of a
bigger
top heavier than I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool looking. Very cool.
What you got, Rich?
I have number 3, the Tusk Pilot.
It's a good one.
So it's a bit further back, but it's a colour. I mean, the main thing for me is the colours. But
It's fantastic.
Was it cherry red or whatever they described it as? It's such a good, vibrant, in-your-face red. And I think it's going to work well. You know, the idea that they're a bunch of cocky fly jocks that, you know, I can see all sorts of different head options.
It's like
with that.
Top Gun in Cosmic Legions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could just have a group of dickheads, basically.
And it's another build for the Tusk, isn't it? It's because he's got, again, the cloth arms, cloth legs, but maintains that torso.
It's a great build. I think it's my favourite build so far of the whole, of that kind of line of Tusk figures.
Yeah.
Kind of combining all the parts and then throwing the cloth goods or the cloth kind of sculpt parts in there.
Yeah, fabric sculpt, yeah.
Mine is the Sphexian Mine Worker. I can't wait to get this guy. And he has a chance of overtaking the Prison Guard as Sphexian, as my favourite Sphexian. I love the wings, they seem to be that kind of translucent, kind of iridescent pink colour. The white is really striking on the bug head with the kind of different kind of accents. Pink, is it kind of pinkish accents and kind of purplish accents? And then the body is kind of this more of a black kind of colour. I think it just totally stands out, and he's going to look awesome.
Yeah, he was one of them that I went back and forth with the Lowland skate back about. It was like, because as I say, Sphexians are my favourite, but I think I kind of put him to the side because we've got Sphexians, But as we said earlier, the head sculpts as well on that one is.
So the second
head sculpt.
Who did you go number 2 then, Mel?
Callie and Shun. I'm going to stick with her. I keep going on about how much I like her and the way she looks, and I'm sticking.
To be honest, she was close to my top 3, but then I was like, I'm sure Mal has her in there, so he has her covered. So I really like go for my others. Sort of,
Yeah, she's one of the more Star Wars-y feeling figures we get in Cosmic, and I really, really like her. As I've said before, she reminds me of Leia Organa in her bounty hunter gear. I mean, not exactly, but there's something about that, and yeah, I really like that.
Can't go out of your head now, Mally.
Yeah, well,
I just can't.
It's when we get the figure in the slave layer gear,
head.
isn't it?
Kylie. There we go.
Yeah, don't mind a bit of Kylie.
Oh yeah. Apparently, she's not that famous in America.
Very recently,
Tell us, Americans, is Kylie famous in America? Apparently, she's not that famous in America.
We've been in this house for 9 years now, and up until about 6 months ago, we had a life-size Kylie cutout stuck to the wall in our garage that the people before us had left.
Oh,
we never got around
was
to
my-
taking down.
Was my mate Alan your previous tenant or the previous owner? Because he's a Kylie obsession.
Maybe he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's lived
Everyone
here
used
for
to-
he's lived here for
Everyone looked
20
like
years,
Alex, we're
but
like,
you
"What?"
know, maybe it was his home in the UK. All right, number 2. I have a feeling I'm going to go for number 2. Not a number 2, but just for number 2. And I have a feeling I'm going to cross over with Rich soon, but Thraxian Scout is my number 2. Most anticipated. It's a lizardy type dude. It's green. It kind of could be in Mythic as well. You know,
Very
that's ticking a lot of my boxes there. What are you thinking, Rich? Who's your number 2?
That's not in my top 3.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Okay.
So I still love it, but I think there's 3 other figures that. I'm
Okay.
looking
Well, who's
forward
number
to
2 then?
as much. It's Kern Ray for me.
Oh, okay.
I again, it's just a great set of parts. You basically got 2 figures in one. The helmeted head is awesome. The unhelmeted head is as good, if not better. You got the cool, funky boots. That soft, good cape or coat is just out of this world. So yeah, she's a number 2 for me.
Mal?
I can't. Yeah. My number 1, because I've done number 2, Callie and Shun. Yeah. So my number 1 is Kern Ray. So it works quite well that I go next. She's fantastic. I think she's going to be up there with Novian as best cosmic figure / one of the best figures in the whole Legions.
Yeah, Kern Ray is my number 1 as well. Yeah, I think she's awesome. Yeah. The 2 looks. It's 2 figures for me, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I love that helmet as well. But
leather jacket. No, I can't wait to see how the leather jacket comes out.
I don't think it's leather. I think it's fabric, isn't it?
Okay, but whatever way it is.
But it still looks fantastic. Yeah.
However that's going to come out. Really excited to see.
Yeah.
And the parts. I mean, I know we have the sneak preview of the boots now with Jacob Marley, but still, yeah. Awesome.
Oh, well, they don't disappoint, do they? Let's face it. The
No,
sneak preview
definitely not. No.
Can't wait to see them again.
The only funny thing about them is because they're translucent, you kind of can see through the articulation, and it looks like like they have pin joints. But actually, they don't, because when the paint is on the surface, you won't see through to where the joint is.
Yeah. Well, I put her in the warm water, and all you could just see all the bubbles forming in the. That's quite funny.
Sniffing figures, bathing figures.
Dreaming of Princess Leia. Here we go. Yeah.
Somebody save Mal.
It's Christmas and I'm single.
Come on, Legions ladies, you can sort Mal out. There has to be a crossover here somehow. Rich, who's your number 1? Top 3 cosmic reveals for the year.
Although some people have this in hand, for me it's still a reveal because it's not come anywhere near us yet, and it's Operative 83.
It's a good one, yeah.
I adore this figure. Money Faces, I said before, was one of only 4 Motu characters I had as a kid. I love the bright colours. Bright colours with Mythics, as I've already said with the Oki artists, don't work for me particularly, but in Cosmic,
that's your jam.
Yeah.
And I want 3 to display it with 1 of each head.
Absolutely, yeah. So you buy 6 and you can sell 3 on eBay then as well, just to feed that habit.
To the same person, yeah. Look, here's 3 on my shelf. This is how you want to display them.
Yeah, you just post a picture. He was very close to my 3 as well. Yeah. Him and Scourge actually. Yeah, they're very close for me.
Yeah, I know it's again with him. There's a lot of reused parts, but at the same time, it's just the way they painted them makes them totally different in my head. So I love him.
Cool. Right, shall we move on to the best surprise of the year? So I don't know how I can introduce this with a kind of exciting thing, but anyway, what is the best surprise of the year for you, Mal?
Bodvar the Bear.
Oh,
it's going to get very boring for the next couple. He's
don't switch our listeners off.
As I said, I just never thought they'd do it. it's up there with the skeletal horse, isn't it? In terms of they'll never do that, and then there you go, we get it, and it looks every bit as good as you could hope it would look. Yeah, he's fantastic. We said it all. He's just incredible.
Right, Rich, and what's your biggest surprise?
We said biggest surprise, so yeah, it's not. This isn't my best surprise, but it's certainly the biggest one. Was the Cosmic Dio pieces? It didn't occur to me for a second that they would do Dio pieces for any of the lines. But I really like the fact they have. I'm like, hopefully they'll move into Mythics with that as well.
That would be nice, little castle kind of pieces, or
just
kind of
campfire
chests.
set.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, weapon racks, anything like that sort of thing. So I'm hoping that leads on to lots of Mythic stuff. So that's my biggest surprise.
Cool. Well, mine was the Monkey King. I think because of the character, but also because of the amount of new sculpting and just the level of the figure was like incredible. And then I just have to throw in I wasn't sure if you guys would mention it, so I just noted it down here as a special mention. I think we should definitely mention it as a surprise, is the alumni voting in All-Stars.
Yes.
That was definitely a surprise that that I
a nice surprise.
Yeah, definitely a pleasant surprise, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Favorite overall reveal then out of all that? The bear from Hal. Yeah.
The bear, Bodvar the bear, yeah.
And Bodvar the bear for me as well.
Therasis for me. I'd have to say, well, I mentioned it already, but Dispatar was my actual favorite reveal. If we're talking technically about the reveal itself, the process of the reveal.
Yes.
Yeah. And our involvement, which was awesome.
That was a nice surprise, to be fair. We could
that
included that when
could
Jeremy
definitely
messaged us about that.
Be part of the biggest surprise. Yeah. For sure. The fact
so who was the worst reveal then, do we think, on Legions Con? Bishotti?
I don't even remember him. Oh, no, I do. Yeah. Alrighty then. Shall we move on to the third party stuff?
Yes. I think we have to throw the disclaimer out there. There is loads and loads of good stuff, and I've got a terrible memory, so there's probably a load of stuff I've forgotten that I liked.
Fair enough. Let's go over to that then.
Yeah.
Right. Do we want to maybe go through this? Let's go through all of your stuff first, Mal. Yeah? How about that?
Okay. So
first we've done this up into categories. So first we'll do the top 3 sculpts. So these are third-party sculpts that you've kind of found.
Yeah, I mean, I generally took it as head sculpts, but I then cheated for number 1 because my favourite thing is my favourite thing by a long way. So best top 3 are, so starting at number 3, it's Re-Umbo, which was the weird sort of alien head sculpt by Emil that was sold through Wolf King. It's the one with like the brain type texture on the top and the 2 what look like almost like gas mask kind of pieces stuck to the side of the face. I just think it's so striking, such a evil. I said it when Emil posted it up. It's a badass looking sculpt.
It is, yeah.
It's definitely an evil looking thing, isn't it?
I've painted 2 of these, and they are awesome to paint as well because of all the texture on them. And you have the organic.
I can't decide what to do with him.
You have the organic texture, and you have the kind of mechanical kind of armor kind of texture as well. What you do is you prime him in black and you dry brush him white, and then you decide what you're going to do.
That's a good shout. Yeah.
That's what I did with both of them.
Yeah,
because then you see also once you do that, you see all the kind of sculpt and the bits, and you can then even see where stuff kind of changes into the other piece.
You know what? It actually could look cool alongside Novian Lean and Mbira as another member of the Bleeders
So
Guild.
you can either
could.
do it in a similar style to that. So, maybe a bit of a fade from one color to the next to a kind of a more whitish grey color for the kind of middle of the face. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And your number 2 then?
Number 2, very recent one, very new one. The Ronin Vengeance, it's called, and it's by Von Burke, and it's I think even he described it as being a bit of a space samurai, but I think you could get away with it just being a samurai. I actually want to just completely rip Brian off, and he had an awesome, sort of cyberpunk female with wearing this as sort of samurai helmet on his table at Legions Con, and I think I might just rip him off and do something like that because she looked really cool. He was going to do the swords, but he's not put them out yet, so we'll see about that.
Very cool.
This is a great piece. This is going to be part of my Templars of Doom in my Cosmic Legions. This head. Yeah, she's very, very cool.
And then your number 1, Mal.
Number 1, as I say, it's a bit of a cheat because it's a whole thing.
But it's
like their head sculpt. But it's a sculpt, isn't it? Is Gino, which is the robot that Anthony from Noble Bear has released as part of his new line. The name escapes me. That's terrible. Sorry. Metal Chronicles.
Yeah, Metal Hard Chronicles. That's right.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just so cool. I've started painting him up, but I need we still need the instruction video on how to put him together. And,
that's true.
I might have lost his feet, so I need to get some new feet off Anthony.
We did give Anthony a little bit of a nudge in that regard, and he said, "Yeah, dudes, no problem." So we'll get it eventually.
He'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not in a major rush because I have a lot of stuff that I can be getting on with. So awesome. But yup. All right. What do you think of the Metal Heart Chronicles, Rich?
I really like him. I didn't get one, unlike you guys, just because I'm not a painter. It's a lot of stuff to get somebody else to paint. So, but as a figure, I really like it.
Very good. So should we also talk about your ones? Oh, special mention? Yeah, you go for it.
Yeah, sorry, I just realised. Yeah, so
Rich.
Just lost Rich. He's just
You all right, mate?
No, he hasn't.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Seems to have clobbered his mic. All right. Yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah. So Mark Calvo did a few Marines sculpts. I didn't send you the pictures.
Yeah, no problem.
He did a few
Marine they were cool.
They were fantastic. I've got them all stuck on top of Novian Lean bodies waiting to paint. But I'm a bit slow, as I say. Noble Bear and Prop Masters collaboration that was for Legions Con, which is kind of a bit of a Cthulhu-esque creature burst that is designed to burst out of your sentry or whatever figure you want to put it on. They show it on the medic. Is it medic? What's it called? The white one, the white figure.
Science officer.
Science officer, and I'm doing the same. Noble Bear, the Reavers, any one of them, they're really cool head sculpts.
Cool.
Excuse me. And then I can't remember specifics because it's mostly they've sort of been posted on Facebook and it's been a get in touch, but they don't generally post to the UK. So I've kind of had to put them to the back of my mind. A bunch of the head sculpt from Jeremy Wilson. A bunch of the stuff from Jeremy Wilson and Brian C. Have been fantastic. Yeah, absolutely.
They're definitely.
I'm going to talk about some of those, Mal, so don't worry.
Right, Rich. You tell us about your favorite sculpts then.
Yes. So we said 3. So obviously I've picked 8.
About 12.
With a couple of honourable mentions as well.
Okay. So where do you want to go here first?
Let's start on this one. So first up, and it's going to sound very
Egoistic.
Yeah, vanity driven. But Sir Richard from Prop Masters, which is a sculpt based on me. So they did a few variations.
Tooting his own horn.
I don't know. It's a bit funny looking if you ask me. But,
So they did a few variations of this, but I really love this particular one that's got a dragon helmet with the face coming over the top, the wings on the side, and then Welsh flag patch as well.
Kind of Welsh flag. Yeah, well, I sent some T-shirts to Trevor, and I sent him some little presents in it, and it should arrive by the time we publish this episode. I did put in one of these head sculpts in the kind of hope that maybe it might end up in the background of one of his official shots one of the days, you know the way he does that. So that was my kind of, I actually meant to write that in the note I wrote to him, but I was doing it so last minute just before I went to Ireland last week that I was just trying to get it posted. So I kind of wrote him a little note, but I forgot to mention that the rich head sculpt could possibly end up in the background of one of the official shots, a year or two in the future, who knows? Maybe being chopped off by a, gladiator or whatever, but hey, whatever, you'll take what you can get.
I'll take it. All press is good press and all that sort of stuff.
Yes, that's Trevor listens to us, so, this is now my subtle hint to Trevor.
Broda holding it in his hand as if he's just chopped.
Just standing.
Wow.
Maybe the next time there's a vampire, the vampire can be eating it for his lunch.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that I've got painted up by Zemo from Prop Masters. He's going to be a part of I got like a Dragool's. It's like a Dragool's Brigade, I think I've called him. So he's going to be part of that. And I think I called him Sir Richard the Flipper as well. So
what has he got? Is he a fish or what?
No, he just likes buying and selling stuff.
That kind of flipping.
That's where he gets his wealth. That sort of flipper, yes.
Okay, appropriate.
Okay, next up,
we'll be here all night now if you don't get us through these.
We will. Yeah. Well, I'll crack on. Oh God, see everybody, this is how bossy John is. So next up, we have a cosmic head sculpt from Brian Say, and this is just an awesome. It's like a
brain.
It's called a bot brain, I think it was called, and it's basically a head with an exposed brain, and then eyeballs on stalks sticking out of it, but like mechanical eyeballs on stalks that are sticking out of it. It's truly bonkers, and the sort of thing that I'm hoping to get a lot more of in Cosmic, quite frankly. And Brian sells these on eBay. Yeah. Yes, it's called the Brain Bot Head.
It's very cool.
Next one, it's great. Next one after that is again a vanity project. This is something that I commissioned to Prop Masters, and this is from I've got like an Ogrin Horde that I'm working on for Mythics, and this is so based loosely on the Warhammer ogres. So this is my Ogrin shooter head. So it's massive sideburns, like huge sideburns, a metal plate over his eye. So rather than eye patches welded on a metal plate, there's rings through various parts of his face and this sort of thing as well. I absolutely love this guy. And if people are looking for one Prop Masters, he's called Magmund Patchhead.
Magmund Patchhead, what a name.
Yeah. And then the last one on this set of photographs is, and it's a set, it's a whole set. It's a Jason Rodriguez set that came out fairly recently called The Corrupted Knight.
Oh, yeah.
And this ties into my love of all things like Nurgle and that sort of thing. So you've got a torso with a tongue sticking out of a mouth.
Was that in the box that I just received recently?
No, I don't have this set yet, unfortunately.
Okay, I thought I saw something similar.
Yeah, no, the head's got bones coming out of it at weird angles.
Yeah.
There's a really diseased leg and a elongated hand that's diseased. And yeah, 100% I'll be getting this set. It's a brilliant set, and the entire set is great.
Very good. Anything else you want to shout out and sculpt?
Yes. So let me nip through these last few. So the first one is two different sculpts, but it's a set by Jeremy Wilson, who Mal mentioned. Jeremy doesn't do a lot of stuff, but the stuff he does is always fantastic. And he's done two brothers called Deimos and Dragos. And Deimos is the one on the left here, John. The smaller of the two sculpts, which is meant to be a vampire, I think, and I'm going to use him as a vampire. And it's got a really creepy, evil look. And then Dragos is his brother. I'm going to go little brother. The sculpt's even better again. It's got like a really wicked grin, quite a spread out nose, and this is an ogre-sized sculpt. So this will be going on to Sebulus' body.
They look cool. And all these pics I'll drop in the comments, and I'll link to on the post on Facebook and Instagram for the episode. So just for if you're looking, and if you really can't find them, just reach out to me if you're interested to see them, especially if you want to buy any of these from these wonderful customizers.
Then we have the Oriental Dragon type head, so the Wufu Dragon.
Wufu, that was close for me. Yeah, that was close for me when I kept it to 3 as opposed to 400 like you are.
8. There's 8.
Okay.
And a couple of special mentions. I've actually got painted one of these that from John from Legions Con, so that's going to be used on.
Which is the blue or the green one you got?
Blue.
Blue. Okay, nice.
That was very kindly gifted to me. So that's an awesome one. Next up, we have Planetary Dog Toys Torso. It's the Undead Samurai Torso.
Oh, that's that one there. Yeah,
in the middle there. So basically, it's what traditional samurai chest armor, but then part of it's missing, and there's ribs and skeletal structures coming through. Now, who doesn't love an undead samurai?
I know you took a break, Mal, but he's still talking. Yeah.
And then finally, it's
around the block.
Mal's had a pee. He's made himself a drink. He's had a cup of tea. He's had a sandwich. Anyway, Rich, The
last one's a Noble Bear Customs print called Sux the Goblin. So it's a vampire goblin.
It is cool.
I love my vampires. I didn't have vampire goblins.
Do you have this one yet?
I did. I bought a painted one from Blaze Bear.
Oh, cool. Well, you can't get much better than that.
So I'm very happy with that. So that'll be put together shortly.
Cool.
And then I have to give a very quick shout out, sorry, like Mal did, to Mark Calvo. He did a gold Vampire Knight, which I think is meant to be like Goldar from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Helmeted and unhelmeted, insanely. I've never seen a vampire with so many teeth.
Yeah.
They're fabulous sculpts. And then he also did one called a Disguised Gobbo, which is a goblin wearing a dwarf beard that is obviously taken off a dwarf and wearing it as a trophy, which is bonkers. So that's a shout out for
bonkers, yeah. All right. I'll get to my 3 best sculpts. Now, sorry to all you third-party people. I love loads of third-party sculpts, but I did narrow it down to 3 here.
I narrowed it down to 8.
Don't take offense if I don't mention your sculpts. And even this one is a bit... So this is the Rhino. The first one is the Rhino from Planetary Dog Toys. I loved painting this. A couple of them I got, and it's just a great sculpt. And I know that that's actually not even a sculpt from Seba. It's actually someone that they hired to do the sculpt, and they modified it for Mythics. So, but it's an amazing Rhino sculpt, and I suppose there's no point doing another one yourself if you can get this one, because it's perfect and it works perfectly on a figure with a night body.
Yeah, it was somebody called Nick Goonin that did.
That's right, Nick Goonin. Yeah, there you go. So good man, Nick. And all those animal heads, we talked about them during the year when they came out. They're excellent. My second one that I want to talk about is the Von Berg Studios The Cursed. It's basically a helmeted head with a load of snakes coming out of this kind of face, and you just see a mouth with a couple of kind of jaggy teeth. 2 big eyeballs coming out of these 2 snakes coming out of the eye sockets, and a load of snakes coming out of the kind of side of him, like a big kind of beard going around. This one's going to be a blast to paint. Can't wait to paint it. I picked one up for myself at Legions Con. It's super creepy.
Meant to be a cursed dwarf, isn't it? I think Brian said.
Okay. So I'll build him on a dwarf. Nice. Really fun. And then the last one I have here is the Wolf King Customs Ham Quinn Space Monkey. I just loved this little sculpt. It's perfect for Cosmic. It's a space monkey. The helmet is perfect. It fits perfectly on the Sentry or the Oleg Tiger spacesuit body, or any of the spacesuits. You paint the helmet to match one of those, and you paint your little monkey face, and it is really cool. I've seen a load of people do different paint jobs on this. I did an orange one to match the Walter, or it works with the Oleg Tiger body as well because there's orange in that. Just love this sculpt. Yeah, and again, there's loads I could have picked. These were just 3 decided to go for. I love them. Len was so kind to name one after me. I could have gone with that. I could have actually bought one of them yet, but I haven't because I'm dumb and I forgot to. But also because Legion's Con, I just had so little time. I still bought like about 20 heads off Len, but I forgot to get the one that's named after me. So, you know. Rightio. So that's the third-party 3D parts. As I said, we'll post these in the comments and I'll try and compile them into a little PDF that is linked on the episode notes as well. So you can get them there, along with our favourite customs. So Mal, since it's been so long since the lovely people have heard from you because of Richard.
Right.
So let's go on to your favourite customs, and you have a few, 3. That's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, I've deliberately gone for ones that I didn't. I mean, I don't buy loads of customs. I have bought a few this year, and I mean, I love them. They're great.
Yeah.
But I went with ones that I didn't necessarily buy. Well, I deliberately went for ones I didn't buy.
Appreciate.
That were wow, they blew me away, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, all 3 of these could easily be on a bar.
We don't need to rank them in order. I mean, this is just 3 we're going to shout out for awesomeness.
So I've described them as cyberpunk customs because Giovanni hadn't given them a name, but it's the 2 characters that Giovanni showed off, and he showed them at Legion's Con. That they've got sort of cyberpunk styling to them. He's used the top from Planetary Dog Toys. He's given the pink and green hair. The guy, he's given him a bionic arm. They just look, and the way he's painted the boots, they just look so cool. Really, really cool. And I like cyberpunk.
So this is the lady with the pink hair, with the kind of green tips, and the guy, he's kind of topless, and he's got the kind of blue jeans. There's the Mythic kind of cloth sculpt upper legs, so they're kind of painted in blue jeans style, and the lower boots they're both kind of white. She has red accents and he has yellow accents.
Painted, I feel as if they could be sort of the trainers of the time thing, which I really like.
Painted excellent, beautifully. I mean, so clean, so beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's a little motorbike in the background then of this pic, just to kind of give you the vibe of what it's going for. Right, next one. This is a recent one, isn't it?
No, it's not this one. It's the other one that is my next one.
Okay, well, this is not in order, so we can do it in the slideshow order, you know?
Okay, yeah. So this is it is a recent one. And it was actually literally, I think, day before or a couple of days before doing.
Come on, Matt, come on.
It's the Monkey Pirate King from Matt Steen.
Sorry, say that again. The what?
Monkey Pirate King.
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
Stein.
Steen, I think. We go with Steen.
Yeah. But it just looks so cool. It's using, the 2 best Figura Obscura figures from this year, isn't it? Combining them.
He's got the Jacob Marley jacket. I mean, these people with their Jacob Marley jacket painted already.
Well,
I haven't even Febrezed mine properly.
Marley.
And there's people that's got it painted.
It's the Jacob Marley right down to the boots.
Wow.
And he's just, he's just added the feet to the boots and
that's right.
The Monkey King head.
Yeah. And I wonder how he articulates
really
that.
Good. Yeah. He did say he did quite a good little brief, but little breakdown of what he's done.
Must be a mod in there.
Yeah.
Right, and the last custom,
good.
Well, it's a Sphexian.
It's more of a repaint Sphexian. It's Scott Warren's repaint of the Sphexian. I just love the colours he's used. It's blues,
psychedelic,
purples, copper. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you can't see it so well here, but because I only gave you the front view, but he's done a bit of paint on the wings as well, and they just, it's
Almost
cool
like a
things
stained
like
glass effect on the wings.
Yeah,
that. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. It's an excellent.
cool.
But Scott's a great painter, so expect no
He
less.
does some
But
really clean.
yeah, he's very good. Yeah, I think he's worked professionally.
Right.
So, excellent. Well, I'm going to go next because otherwise Rich will never shut up. So I've got two here, just two. My favorite customs. I narrowed them down. So, in no particular order, David Williams Buzz Off tribute. I mean, Emil and Eric Miller have the tribute customs kind of locked off almost, but somehow David Williams managed to get in and do the best tribute custom this year, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's not to take away from anything of what anyone else did.
Not at all.
It's just amazing. The Buzz Off, it could be factory figure in the morning, send it to production, do as many thousand as is needed for the fan base. They would sell like hotcakes. It's literally the perfect Buzz Off in Mythic Legions. Buzz Off is my second favorite He-Man character after Mossman. So, they were the first two He-Man figures I got, Buzz Off and Mossman together. And this is just perfect.
Perfect is the word, isn't it?
Yeah. And amazing that Dorclair ended up the owner of this, which is also perfect to have someone like that. He's going to do it justice on his channel and just, perfect, David, and you're an inspiration for your creativity and what you do. And another fella that's an inspiration for his creativity and what he does is our friend Guion, Hondax, he goes by on Instagram. So there was plenty of his dwarfs I could have picked. I eventually settled on Corvus Skull Crusher. So he had a big bio that was written by Justin Johnson and Eddie Salvatore, I think. And he did this figure as a kind of a tribute to that. Uses the Von Berg dwarf head. I can't remember the name of that, but I actually bought it recently with the Knights of Yule because I bought a couple of heads off Brian as well as that box because if he's shipping, he might as well get a few heads off him as well.
It might even be the name of the character, John.
Oh, okay. There you go. And just the armor on this, well, I mean, he does, the fiery beard, Guion is a pro at that. And I just love the kind of bright gold on this guy, and then the contrast with the silver, the pieces he uses. He also uses the Vorthog torso on this, and it's a Duragar dwarf, which are awesome in general. So, Guion, ran very close was that one. He didn't have a name for it. It was a commission he did with the big fiery hands, kind of those kind of big stone kind of fire hands pieces that I think Anthony House-Steele might be doing this year. So,
I actually met.
Sorry, yeah.
Legions Con. I met the guy that he did that commission for.
Okay.
A guy called Barry who bought another couple of heads of Guions that we were selling.
Okay. Did he pick the custom off of you, or had Guion already shipped them to him?
No, Guion had already shipped them over to him. Yeah, but he bought a couple more of the painted heads. Gotcha. He loves his work.
Yeah, you like what you like, which is awesome. Yeah, you're right. Canavok the Rainavus, the Ravenus is the name of that head, yeah. And this is Corvus Skull Crusher. So, okay, slightly different. But yeah. Right, Rich. Get the pillow there, Mal.
There's only 8, and one of them's Buzz Off, so you've covered that. So it's down to 7 already.
Right, let's get them up then, so you can go through them.
There's definitely a recency bias in here. I should say. If we're doing this again next year, I'll keep a better set of screenshots on my phone for.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. We can. Now we. This time last year we didn't have a podcast, which is a podcast, which is absolutely incredible to think about. Yeah. But yeah.
So if we start off top left, so this is one of my traditional Rich Kais purchases from Legions Con.
Rich, who has quit the game until
I
next
know,
year.
I'm very unhappy about that, but my wallet is dancing with joy. It's just like, yeah, we're safe from his stuff, his awesome stuff.
Someone will take his place.
Yeah, quite possibly. It won't be as good though. So this is a skeleton shaman. So it's just a combination of all sorts of different skeletal bits from various figures. I think the Alithia weighing scale weapon thing is in there as well as part of it. There's the small arms on its back. So many different 3D pieces. I actually pre-bought this from Rich before Legions Con even took place, and it's without a doubt one of my favourite things in my collection. So there's that figure. Then we have Argyle the Walrus. This is from Lenny Patino. When they first showed this head, I wasn't sure about it. I was like, it's okay, but I'm not 100%. And then I saw this figure. It's like a Viking barbarian type walrus. So it's got greens and oranges, like fur boots, and the big old walrus head. It's a great little figure. Next up, we have a Cosmic custom. So this is one that Blaze Bear did. And it uses a head from Noble Bear Customs. It's like an old man type head with goggles, a little beard sticking out. And then Blaze has combined that with some Monkey King feet that he painted, a couple of bits of Mythic armor, some Monkey King armor, some Cosmic bits and bobs. And it just looks like, like a space samurai or, a Jedi potentially looking at the weapon.
Yeah, it's awesome. I still can't bring myself to paint the Monkey King pieces, even though I know. Probably should at this stage.
And then I've just realised with the four I've combined into this second slide, this clearly shows my love for the colour purple, as they all have purple in them. So first up, we have the Slug Cosmic figure that Brian C. did. So it uses his
I bought that head.
head.
I can't wait to paint it.
Yeah, I got one of the heads in the end. I was so close to buying this figure, but I spent so much money by that point that it was like, I can't. So I just bought the unpainted head. But he's used like tentacle type arms from another figure. I'm not sure which one, and put it on a head to toe repainted sentry body, oranges and purples and that sort of thing. So brilliant figure. Then directly above it, we have probably the favorite custom I bought at Legions Con, although there was an awful lot of really good ones. It's by Ben McCall. And it's like an undead demon possessed type sort of knight. So you got it's got the greens and the purple, so it works perfectly for me. The armor's like a distressed green. The torso, I think, is a Mighty Figure Customs one, so it's got like bones coming out through the flesh. The flesh looks sore where they're coming through, and a real sort of chaos vibe to the helmet. And the bell weapon is actually a real bell, so it clings to if you wave it around. So that's great. Bottom left.
Do you own any of these?
nobody's-
Sorry, just to
Yes. So I own the top right, the one I've just been talking about.
the bell one. Yeah, I'm not
I
surprised.
tried to buy the bottom left, the next one, but Lenny'd already sold it. So this is like a zombie king. So it uses I think it's the Planty Dog Toys torso with the guts hanging out. There's also a set by Jason Rodriguez, I think, of arms that are actually just sharpened bones. Again, like a Nurgle sort of type feel to it. And he's painted like a grey-blue colour. I love that figure. It's so good, but somebody beat me to the punch, unfortunately, on that one. And then the last one wasn't at Legions Con. This was something that it was Luke's Custom Toy Picks on Instagram. I don't know the gentleman's actual name, but this is using a Von Box head sculpt, which is like an alien head sculpt with it's like sunken face with almost like nails coming out of the top of it, which I've got painted in a different colour. That's another one of my Templars of Doom. But this one's been painted like a light purple or lilac sort of colour. And then it's a repainted, I'm going to guess, Dark Templar. So it's head to toe purple and silver. It looks like Swig soft goods, which obviously work perfectly with this sort of design. Yeah. So it's just basically a purple.
Definitely
if this ever came
better
on,
than Swig.
I'd buy it in a heartbeat. Yeah. So those are my 8 favourite customs for the year.
Fair enough. You're a customs fan. I think we'll give you 8.
Yeah.
Definitely. Right. Mal, have you got your customs done? Yeah.
Yes, we've done them already.
So we need to do photography then.
Yes.
So, toy photography. let's bring that up. So, Mal, what have you got for favorite?
I'm very sort of. This is another one of those where I'll be a bit more aware in the coming year. So there's
this was difficult because my Instagram feed every day, and even the Instagram feed of the podcast. I see a cool pic, and if I haven't, posted it to our story or favorited it, I never see it ever again. It's a bizarre scenario.
This is it. So,
unless you remember who it's from.
Our friends kind of feature heavily in my pics
which is also cool because they deserve it. They have awesome pictures.
Yeah. Very much so. So, bit of a cheat because it's probably an official picture rather than a third-party picture.
It's okay.
Is by 1/6 shooter Trevor Williams, Atlas on Bodvar, the one that was like, you could describe it as the money shot from the rise of the Rising Sun's reveal. It's just an incredible photo. I completely forgot that he was doing it as a metallic print at Legions Con.
You didn't get it?
And missed out on it. I got it. I got
the regular print.
I think I got the regular version of it. Yes.
Okay. Still not.
I got the regular version of the one of my other ones. In fact, my second one, which I'll talk about now.
We'll move on. Now.
Which is I got the regular print of this one, which is another 1/6 shooter, which is Escape from Havalkatar. It's very, very cool. I wanted the metallic one of this as well, but again, completely forgot he was doing them. But I'm glad
I got the metallic one of this.
Jealous,
and it's in my list of favorite toy photography as well. So I might as well talk about it now.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's a fantastic picture.
Yeah, this is and
so dynamic.
Point I was going to make on your last photo. This is the photo Trevor wanted to take with the prototypes and couldn't, the style of photo. And I guess the Atlas on the bear, that's fine, but I think he'll take a much more dynamic one in the future with the production figures. There's so much going on in this picture. If you look at it, it's absolutely brilliant, and it tells the whole story to you in the one picture. It's Escape from Havalkatar. That's kind of the wave,
Yeah,
and this tells everything. Rich.
Yeah, this was in my top 3. It's such a good picture. It looks like it's from a still from a movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I could tell anybody this is a movie that's coming out in 2024. Here's the kind of still from the trailer, and they'd be like, "Wow, I like my sci-fi. I want to see that."
Yeah, I can't imagine there ever being a better cosmic picture than this.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's definitely.
I don't know. Trevor's taken a couple as
maybe
one of my other ones. As Nate.
There is absolutely no indication in this picture whatsoever that any of these are action figures. There is no evidence of it. Which is a tribute, one to the Horsemen sculpts, and then two to Trevor's photography, posing, everything.
Yeah, and the lighting. Everything.
Spectacular. And then your last one, I love this one as well, Mal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there were 2 from Nate again. Corona one 4. Of our friends and podcast colleague to 1/6 shooter. That's Corona 4, Nate Strong. And it's Sentries on Patrol, it's called. He did sort of like 3 different lighting effects on it, and all 3 look fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's the which is possibly part of why I like it. It's that Reba-Mo head sculpt on a sentry body in the foreground, patrolling. They look exactly like they are like going around the spaceship looking for something, or making sure.
Yeah, it gives an atmosphere, doesn't it?
Yeah. Another one of Nate's is. It's a sentry without its helmet on. Well, he did it. I think he did it with and without his helmet. But I like the one without the helmet with the explosion in the background. I went with this one since we're picking 3. I kept it to the 3, and because I love this one. So,
Appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah, I often feel Nate's pain because he does post some, he posts the picture and then he'll maybe post a subsequent post where he posts the kind of alternate versions, and they're all awesome. So I can see him tearing his, if he had hair, tearing it out.
Tearing his little goatee out.
Yeah, to pick which of the versions he wants to actually post as his main picture. So, but that's all part of the fun.
I hope and think at Legions Con next year he definitely needs to sell some prints as well.
Nate, definitely, or
100%.
piggyback on Trevor's booth, definitely, or if not...
Well, he's helping Trevor on the booth anyway, isn't he? So
definitely,
get some stuff printed up, dude.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to talk about my 3 now. And the first one I'll talk about is a little bit like Rich with his head sculpt. It's a little bit self-indulgence, but it is at Corona4 on Instagram, Nate Strong. The Whisperling Fawn in the Forest. So it's a head sculpt I painted and Nate bought off me at Legions Con. And if someone buys some of your painted work off you, you can't wish for anything better to happen to it than someone as talented as Nate Strong taking a picture like this. It's incredible. He got like 110 comments I see on this post just on Instagram. I went through and liked them all because I just thought it was awesome. And it's a great picture. He did everything justice. It's basically that head sculpt on a Silverhorn Sentry, which is beautiful that they just released that again. It just, like, I definitely painted this head sculpt before that body was re-released, so that's a little bit of serendipity. But yeah, really good, Nate.
It looks awesome on it as well,
even if it wasn't a head sculpt I painted, I'd be super impressed. I love that type of thing, which is why I painted it a bit like that, and couldn't imagine that in a few weeks after that you get a picture like this.
I love the picture. It's like it's the stillness of the main character, but then the action for the ones behind.
Yeah,
you can see
they're really kind of walking
Yeah.
through the forest, and you get that forest vibe, and the lighting is really good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really good, and the character is really looking at, like, well, what is he looking at past your shoulder?
Yeah,
as you're looking at the picture. Number 2 is Escape, or the second one I have here is Escape from Valkatar. Trevor, don't need to say any more. Mal covered it. It's amazing. Absolutely incredible. And then I have 2 more. So I went one beyond the 4.
Oh, settling everybody. John's going to be chatting for a while now.
So the next one is from Jeffrey Osmond. So at Jeffrey Osmond on Instagram. So he's a guy I haven't seen much of from before. But this popped up on the feed from the podcast and my feed as well. It's Novian Lean. He's titled it The Hunter. And it's just Novian Lean kind of out in the kind of wilderness. And just I commented on the photo, just the character comes through completely in this photo. You can just see he's just angry about something. He's annoyed about something. There's an expression, the lighting, everything hits this absolutely perfectly. So at Jeffrey Osman on Instagram, The Hunter, as I said, I'll include the slideshow in the episode notes. But really like that picture. What do you think?
It's great.
Really giving off Predator vibes of raw.
It really is.
So I know you're all following Nate and Trevor, so follow Jeffrey as well, definitely. And last but not least, Kevin M. Boots. So Kevin M. Boots 77 on the Instagrams. I love this
Amazing
one. I love my Vikings. This was a great one. It's basically Freya figure. It looks like a Freya figure, but it's actually a Dorina with the Freya cape, or a red cape that's like Freya, and a bit of soft cuds coming out. And the title of the description of the figure is Dorina in her warrior form stood at the water's edge as the sun set. So it's just a really nice moody picture. I really like it. And Kevin is a great photographer. He handed out loads of prints. He gave us a couple of prints each of these different pictures, and really appreciate Kevin and the community and everything. And yeah, his toy photography is fantastic, so you should definitely follow at Kevin Boots77 on Instagram. And this was my favorite photo that I saw from Kevin this year. So there you go. Rich, what you got?
So like you two, I've sent pictures to the group chat. Like you two,
Yeah.
I love the Escape from Haval-Qatar one that Trevor did. That was absolutely my top three. Next up, I have a Nate Strong Corona 4-1, which is the Monkey King stood on top of a mountain.
Yeah, that's an excellent one.
For me, the monkey story, there's a lot of time in the mountains and the clouds and that sort of thing. And I just love the sort of desolate feel to this, and the fact that the staff goes across the moon in the background. I love the way that just breaks that up, and and nothing much is happening. It's just the figure is just stood there looking. It's not an action shot or anything, but it just captures the character perfectly for me.
Excellent. And then
lastly, I've got one by a gentleman called Sheriff Joseph. And this is, again, Freya. And she stood in the middle of a group of Noble Bear figures. It pains me to say it, but a group of Noble Bear figures. And the camera's sort of zoomed in on her, and then the rest of them are ever so slightly out of focus around her. Yeah. And the snow's coming down, and she's just sort of lit up in the middle there. And you can almost see them, she's just looking out towards a horde of orcs or something that are coming their way. And it's that moment before battle sort of feel for me.
Yeah, this was definitely on my contenders list for the toy photography, so I'm glad you picked that. Really good. Excellent.
Yeah.
So, guys, we finished the list for the year. Can you believe it? Our favorite figures, our favorite pictures, our favorite 3D parts, our favorite customs. That was a lot of fun. I'm so glad that this was almost worth starting the podcast just to do this episode. I hope people enjoyed it. Now, you have to join in if you've listened this far. You probably should have said this up front, but I'll also put a post on our various accounts. You give us your favorites, and we'll go through them maybe on the next episode as part of that. So you pick the categories that you like, whatever you want to chime in on. If you want to chime in on the whole lot, we'll indulge you, don't worry. We're very happy to do so. So drop us a post either on the comments of this episode post, or I'll put up a particular post asking for your feedback on your favorites from the year, and we'll go through and tell you how much you're right or wrong, depending on how much they align with ours. How does that sound, guys?
Sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'll tackle anyone that puts Noble Bear as their favourites. Leave that to
me. Very good. Well, we got through it. I think we're all still friends afterwards, which is always a good thing.
Absolutely.
No major disagreements. As expected, Mal likes Cosmic. I like Mythic. Rich likes Mythic and other stuff.
Customs.
Yeah, customs.
And we all like a bit of everything. All right, guys. Thanks for that.
Yes, it's been fun.
Had a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Week.
That was really good fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Definitely.
Cheers. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Oh, John.
I stole your line.